had in my life. And one of these passions stemmed from school, like I mentioned, this, you know, young girl who was just really drawn to ideas, always wanted to learn more and research and understand the world, understand my beliefs, understand my family's beliefs, because that's the world I lived in at the time. And then combining that with something that I was always very passionate about, which was street culture and hip hop.
Right.
And I know that sounds wild, right? It sounds wild that, you know, someone that is so into ideas is also into rap culture and, you know, graffiti culture and hip hop and streetwear and
it
all.
doesn't sound too
No,
crazy though. It doesn't sound, I mean,
no, it's
there is a parallel there, I think. It doesn't sound too far-fetched, or I don't think it sounds so far-fetched at all, to be quite frank. It's not something that I would say, it's like, wow, these things don't go together. No, this does. I mean, there is a cultural and musical evolution that became hip hop. I mean, all the interactions with different styles.
yeah.
So yeah, there is a. I can see this making sense. I can see this being very an intimate part of
Yeah.
how you live and how you think.
Absolutely. Well, I see it that way too. Most people don't. So I appreciate that you can see it a little deeper, because to me, rap music and hip hop culture absolutely started from a place of struggle, started from a place of people trying to find a way to share their message. And rap is poetry. And that to me is beautiful. And the messages are so deep within there. And they're
Absolutely.
telling stories of history. They're telling stories of struggle in the present. And of course, there's rap that's just cool to bob your head along to, fine. But a lot of the deep-seated old school rap is very, very deep. And so, yeah, to me also, I see the parallels as to why I would like both, but a lot of people don't, because I only see it on the surface level.
Well,
And so I took these two passions. Yeah.
No, I agree with that. No,
So I
you're
took these
right.
two passions. Yeah. And I combined them and made what Thinking is, which is a company that runs large scale live events, that's focused on younger people. So our target demographic is kind of 18 to 35. But we go younger and older, of course, but we targeted at that demographic. And you know what you'll feel when you come into a Thinking event. Well, the first thing that you'll hear is hip hop playing over the speakers. So that's the first thing you're going to feel. You're going to feel that vibe of, I'm in a place that's cool, you know, with a beautifully dressed set. When we don't aim to make it too, you know, aligned with any type of university setting. It's not highly academic in that way, but the speakers are deep, the speakers are academic,
Right.
and they transport you to a completely different dimension when they're speaking, and they're the greatest intellectuals in the world. And so we try and make an environment that's warm, that you want to be in, that, you know, it's lit correctly so that you feel like you're in a okay, community, I'm here for a good show, I'm going to be entertained. And your mind gets absolutely blown by what you hear from the stage. And so that's what was created from the get-go. So the first event was with Michio Kaku. He's a theoretical physicist.
Yes.
And we went on sale, and everyone said, this is a pipe dream. There's no way that people are going to come out to see a scientist on stage. And we sold out 3 cities. And so they were wrong. People did want to hear about ideas. And the mission at that point, which has changed and developed over time, but the mission at that point was to make intelligence cool, right? Remind people, because it's always been cool, but remind them, say, hey, you know, being smart is cool. You should do this. And we can show you how it can be cool. And you come along to a beautiful venue in the heart of Sydney, and, you know, with thousands of other people, and just feel your mind blown by what you hear on stage. So I guess that's the story, a little bit of the origins. Have I tackled that enough for you?
You have, yeah. No, I think you gave us a very in-depth analysis as to the onset, the birth of the idea, as it were. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful process. It's a beautiful process that I think is, to rightly say, it's still unfolding, it's still developing, it's still growing. And I can say personally, with a completely unbiased opinion, that I think it's you are doing just that. It's invoking a kind of intellectual renaissance, I think, in many ways, exposing young minds and older minds who may have not had exposure to it before, to these